gorgeous. I am back today, and today we're talking about how the paradigms that we're born into shape our beliefs and how those beliefs then either enhance our life or ruin our life. So I have a fun story for you today. Before we get started, I just want to quickly mention that this video is sponsored by BetterHelp. More on them a little bit later. So, as you guys know, I recently moved into a new house, new neighborhood, new everything, and it is beyond my wildest dreams. And of course, as I have a Instagram lifestyle account, I've been sharing more behind the scenes of my lifestyle, which includes my house. And so I've been showing pictures of swimming and eating out and different, little tidbits around the house. And one of the things that I was very surprised to see was my DMs flooded with people freaking out because they can see those gorgeous mansions that belong to my wonderful neighbors from everywhere in our house and from our backyard as well. And people were saying things that at first didn't make sense to me because I'm not in that paradigm, so I wasn't really thinking those things. They were saying things like, yikes, can't believe your neighbors are that close, or oh my God, can your neighbors, see you, or you should put a fence to protect your children, things like that. And so let me share with you a little bit of a story and why at first that didn't make sense to me until I had to really zoom out.
A quick break to talk about our sponsors.
So if you have been following my journey, then you know how important and foundational inner work has been for my success. And this is where BetterHelp comes in. Because I have actually personally used BetterHelp as part of my own inner work and healing. And the reason I went with them was many reasons. One was I didn't have to leave my house and I could just, sign up with a therapist online. Also, they match you with a therapist, and within the first 24 hours, I was literally on a call with a therapist. So you can choose your therapist based on your personal needs, your language, the type of therapy that you prefer. If you use my link, you get 10% off of the first month, so make sure that you do take advantage of that. So as you guys know, my parents are from Pakistan, which is a small country that used to be a part of India. And in India, Pakistan, Middle East, most of Asia, I know this is true from what I've heard from my African clients and students as well. In most places around the world, your neighbors are family. They are your greatest asset. You know your neighbors, you grieve with your neighbors, you laugh with your neighbors, you grow with your neighbors. So when I would go back home, my parents would take me to my parents' country, to my grandmother's house, pretty much every year, so I can get to know the culture and my relatives and things like that. And my grandmother's neighbors were like our aunts and uncles and our secondary grandparents. They had been together for generations, because when you buy a house there, you just own it for generations. You buy it in cash, and then your children inherit it, and then their children inherit it, and then their children inherit it. So your neighbors really, really well. I mean, I have such fond memories of my grandmother's neighbors. Her neighbor on the right, which she had been friends with forever, and it was like family. It was like her sister, right? It was like a secondary grandmother to me. And her daughters and daughters it's like an extended family. They were all there, and when we would go visit, they would come get me, take me for the whole day. They would feed me breakfast I was little. They would bathe me, come back to my grandmother's house, get my clothes, right? They would read me books. They would help me learn different things about the culture. It was like having these elder sisters and extra aunts and grandmothers. So I grew up in the paradigm of your neighbors are your family. They are your greatest assets. So because I didn't know anything other than that, even though I've only lived in the United States, this is where I was born and raised, I've always had a very close friendship and relationship with all of my neighbors. In fact, our neighbors, some of our neighbors growing up, we used to move a lot, but some of our neighbors my siblings are still like best friends with, like 30 years later, right? They played together as children and they just like never lost that contact. So that's been the paradigm that I've always been raised in. In fact, when you guys remember in 2017 in Houston, when Hurricane Harvey hit, guess who was by my aid? Guess who was there? My husband was out of the country supporting his parents at the time. They were going through a huge transition in his parents' life, and so he wasn't here when Hurricane Harvey hit. My neighbors were the people looking out for me and my children. My neighbors were there the whole time. Having my neighbors, it's like the saying that God couldn't be everywhere, so he created parents. I believe he also created your neighbors, okay? Your neighbors are really your greatest assets. So when I was receiving these kind of messages, the reason I was confused is because I feel safe because of those homes right there. Like we live in a very close-knit subdivision where everyone knows each other. These are all really, really successful entrepreneurs, amazing families. They've got their kids, some of them have their grandkids. And first of all, looking all around from every window and seeing multi-million-dollar mansions, like excuse me, it's quantum leaping me like you won't believe. Like, I am not mad about it. Secondly, the way that these glass windows are, you can see outside, but you can't see inside. I actually, to be quite honest with you, would have preferred that my neighbors could see inside. I feel safe. This is the biggest thing. I feel safe knowing that my neighbors are looking out for me. I can sleep soundly knowing that not only do I have a provider and protector in my husband, in my oldest son, and then in all these amazing families that surround my family, and we are doing the same thing for them. We're looking out for them. So remember that we have evolved in tribes. We used to be part of small communities, small tribes, in which we all looked out for each other. Our survival depended on each other's survival. Our success depended on each other's success. So that happened for millions of years. So we are still very much evolved that way. We are very much evolved to be in these close-knit communities. Could it be that there's so much more depression and anxiety and all of these issues in the Western world because maybe we're disconnected from our neighbors? I couldn't believe how many women were downright like sending me these DMs, freaking out, like I'm in some kind of a threat. I'm protected because I'm surrounded by my neighbors. My neighbors are my friends. These are my greatest assets. They've always been. Do you know that even in the property that we still currently own, the other house, guess who's helping us look out for that property and like manage different things that we're still selling from there? Our neighbors from that other neighborhood. Like, they are the reason that I feel so safe. So here's your homework assignment for today. Get to know your neighbor. Pick one neighbor and get to know them, because we can't like live in this paradigm where we're complaining about being lonely, we're complaining about not finding friends, we're complaining about not meeting men, and then we're not speaking to our neighbors, like the people that are closest to us. We're afraid of them. Like, how could you even live being afraid of the people that shape up your tribe, make up your community, right? Now, these people may not be your tribe in all aspects, right? But they are still a part of your physical tribe, right? The taxes that you pay in your community, like, go into these homes, communities, these school systems, the police, the firefighters, right? Get to know these people, get to know the businesses in your neighborhood. I mean, like on a first name basis. And start small. Like, it may seem overwhelming, but today's homework assignment, or this week's homework assignment for you, is just make one tiny contact with one neighbor. Okay, I can't tell you, for as a woman, knowing how our DNA behaves and how we experience fear when we're disconnected from our tribe and the people closest to us, in fact, when we're seeing them as threats, that is going to put you in so much fight or flight all the time, babe. Like, so make a little bit of effort. I know it can be scary for a lot of people because when we were little, maybe our parents told us strangers, don't talk to strangers. Strangers are dangerous. And so we grow up not talking to people and like almost fearing people, but you are now a grown woman. You can start to shed that little girl identity and start getting to know the people closest to you. So just start saying hi, smiling, okay? And asking people's names, doing little things like that. And also those of you guys that do come from cultures where neighbors are everything, let me know in the comments if this is a paradigm that you did grow into. I was born and raised in the United States, but because I didn't know that you're supposed to be afraid of your neighbors or not know them, every single house that I've lived in, and as a child, believe me, I lived in many, many places. I've shared my story with you guys before. We always knew our neighbors. My parents always, made sure that our neighbors knew us, we knew them. And you don't have to be best friends with them, right? And maybe that's something that will develop over time. But these are the people that will be your greatest assets in life's most joyous occasions, but also in times where you just need someone. And just emotionally and psychologically too, honestly, even in my previous home, going on vacation or going through my pregnancies, the loss of my dad, like all these different things that I went through, just knowing that I had my neighbors to rely on, even if I didn't speak to them every day, it was everything. It was the exact emotional support that I needed because we have evolved to have this emotional support. So no, I am not putting a fence around my house. I love looking at my neighbors and supporting them, and I love them being able to see me. In fact, one of our neighbors ran in the other day and said, could we please take a picture of our house from your backyard so we can see how it looks? We're like, yes, go for it, right? That's what it feels like to feel so divinely supported, okay? I feel supported by God. I feel supported by my ancestors. I feel supported by my husband, my friends, my family, and definitely my community and my neighbors. And I want that for you as well. So make that little bit of effort this week. Say hi to a neighbor and get to know them. Subscribe if you're new here. Also, quick announcement, I have decided as kind of a personal growth journey that I will be posting videos from now on every Monday and Thursday. You guys know for years I was kind of just posting when I felt like it, live streaming a lot of the times. And this year I decided I wanted to do something that was gonna scare me a little bit or like take me out of my comfort zone. And the one thing that would like always scare me or like take me out of my comfort zone and be like, I can't do this, was being on a schedule on YouTube. So just to expand my horizons and take me out of my comfort zone, I decided to announce it so I can't go back on my word. So I will be posting, it's on my banner, every Monday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time and Thursday morning at 9 a.m. Central Time. And I promise to like keep that up now. Like that's my next level, to be able to maintain that. Also, if you're not subscribed to my email list, make sure you are subscribed. You get a free gift for subscribing, and I also send out wonderful magical emails. And also Instagram is somewhere where I'm super active these days. All right, thank you for BetterHelp for supporting this channel. I love you. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.